I write to you my first-hand account. My name is Urufu Kiba, and I witnessed these events myself. Many years ago, a hollow attacked a small town. It was a full moon night. It was dark. There was clouds in the sky. The landscape almost resembled that of Waco Mundo. And I witnessed this. A young boy was attacked by a gigantic hollow. The man in a white captain's coat jacket and black shihakusho with two hook swords came in and began fighting fiercely against this gigantic hollow. The young boy sat and watched in horror as the long white-haired man was knocked down by the great hollow, and he lied there coughing, blood pouring out of his mouth as he hacked and coughed and struggled for breath. In between coughs and gasps, he says to the boy, "I need you to save yourself. Take my powers." And he thrusts the hook sword through the boy's heart. The boy comes out in a black shihakusho with a bastard sword in his hand. The bastard sword has the insignia of a cross on its handguard. It's like that of which you would see of Excalibur, reminiscent of the legendary sword. The boy strikes down the hollow in one blow, but the Soul Reaper lie there, almost dead. The Soul Reaper regained his composure and awakened after many minutes. The young boy sat with him the entire time. He had nothing much else. He was an outcast. He was an orphan. So he sat with the old Soul Reaper. And the old Soul Reaper now proclaimed to the child, "My name is Jushiro Ukitake, captain of squad 13, and I granted you the powers of Soul Reaper so you could save yourself, but you've taken too much of my power, and now you will have to fulfill my duties as a Soul Reaper. I'm going to write in these bylaws, and when I transfer back to the Soul Society, I will retain it to suit this situation. Thank you, lad." So together, the orphan boy and the old Soul Reaper captain stayed in a run-down shack, and they fought many hollows throughout the days until Captain Ukitake regained his strength and went back to the Soul Society. The Soul Society was outraged, but there had never been a case such as this, so They decided this would be a one-time deal. They would allow the boy to keep the Soul Reaper powers, but they would make laws to prevent this thing from ever happening again, with horrible outcomes. Take this combat pad, take this thing. They grab just a chunk of reishi and they turn it into a small wooden badge, and if they find out I'm telling you this story, they will most surely execute me or lock me in Mugen. They can never know. But they make this badge. It traces and follows the substitute Soul Reaper to keep an eye on him. Well, they give it to Ginjo, or to the boy. Shit, I just blew the whole story. Anyways, they give it to the boy, and things are well. He carries out his duties as a substitute Soul Reaper, protecting the world of the living when a Soul Reaper is not available. And it worked out well. But one day, after influencing many with his Soul Reaper abilities, the boy had become a risk factor. One day he discovered that the Soul Society was tracing him, and he was outraged. You've been tracing and restricting my energy? I could have been killed, slaughtered by hollows. And Ukitake reassured the boy. They thought everything would go well. They were going to keep a close eye on him. Everything was fine. They started tracing his movements into Waco Mundo. He had somehow discovered a way inside. First, his mission was to kill the Hollow who killed his mother and seek revenge. Then, he would turn his revenge to all Hollows and exterminate every last one of them. The boy grew considerably more uncontrollable. The Soul Society was worried, and they sent Captain Ukitake to fulfill his final duty to the boy. I will cut him down. I will purify his soul, and he'll be sent to the cycle of rebirth, therefore realigning the balance. We, as Soul Reapers, as Shinigami, are sworn to our solemn duty to uphold the balance. It has become imbalanced. The boy is a problem. Ukitake went to the boy, now ready to strike him down and kill him. But Ukitake was too kind of a man to kill the boy. So he thought would be merciful to sever his soul chain and soul sleep in one fell movement and send the boy into exile. At least his life could be spared. At least he could still do some good. The Soul Society lost trace of the boy, and the boy returned. Gathering many under his influence, striking a bargain with Hollows, he was ready He was betrayed. But he kept the other humans he gathered under his wing. And he saw his opportunity one day in Ichigo Kurosaki. Ichigo losing his powers in a final Getsuga Tensho. Was now lost. He needed to help his family, protect his friends. The boy, now a man, sought out the one they called Ichigo Kurosaki and helped him to gain new power, unlocking his Soul Reaper abilities. Then he could steal them for himself. He could return to the Soul Society and kill the man he loved, the man who betrayed him, the man he trusted. Jushiro Ukitake. The boy failed, ultimately, and was defeated and felled by Ichigo Kurosaki. That boy's name was Kugo Ginjo, the first substitute Soul Reaper. Now I fear the Soul Society have found me. My only hope is that this will get out. I will entrust this message to Tekken 101 and bid thee all farewell.